So, what is up, everybody? It's Keith. I am here to bring you some good news. Today, I'm going to be doing my accents video. I know. It's been a really long time, and a lot of you have been asking for it. So here we go. So usually, I start off with a British accent because a lot of people really like it. I don't know if it's because they find it attractive or if they find it funny or what, but here it is. And it's one of my favorites because it really is one of the easier ones to do because they speak English, so you don't have to change your dialect or anything like that. So yeah. And then usually from the British accent I go to the Australian accent, you know. Now the Australian accent's quite similar to the British accent, except your vowel sounds are rounded out. So instead of saying like get out, you say get out. So my brother came into my room the other day and told me to do my laundry, and I told him to get out. And then from the Australian accent I usually go to the Yorkshire or the Irish accent. You know, no, this accent here is quite subtle, very subtle. Then again, it's your vowel sounds that you're changing. No, this accent is really fun to do because it sounds like the Lucky Charms guy, you know? Like, no, you kids, stay away from me Lucky Charms. Stay away from me Lucky Charms. And you know, quite fun to do. Then you go from your Irish accent to your Scottish. Now the Scottish accent is quite different. Now this accent here, you have to really put your all into it. That's one of the most challenging parts of doing an accent is you have to think about what you're going to say right before you say it. Now this accent here, a lot of people like this one because it sounds like Shrek. Donkey, get off my swamp! That is a nice boulder. So, this accent here, too, you have to remember that it's one of the first accents that I do that you really have to think about making what you're saying understandable. Now, there's a difference between understandable and not the accent at all. So you have to balance it between understandable and as authentic as possible. Then, usually from the Scottish accent, I'll go to the Spanish accent. Now, the Spanish accent that I do is more of a one from España, not one from Mexico. But you know, they are not all of that different when you translate them to English because they both speak Spanish. With Mexico Spanish versus Spanish Spanish is different language. But here this accent, you have to remember that you have to speak the broken English. You cannot speak like you normally do. You have to think about how you put your word into sentence because a lot of people do not recognize that they do not speak English as their first language, so you have to break it up a little bit. And sometimes you have to, pretend that you do not know the next word you're going to say to make it seem a little bit more authentic, you know, throwing little things here and there. Then you go from the Spanish accent to the Russian. Now, Russian accent is actually quite similar to Spanish accent in many ways, but you know, you speak a little bit farther broken English up a little bit more, you know, and you know, you pronounce a couple of letters differently. Like you go to the store and instead of buying vodka, you buy vodka, you know, you go to the store and buy some vodka, you know. Then you go from Russian accent to the French. Now the French accent is very different in that you almost is like you are spitting out your words and the sound of your R's stay in your throat. So instead of saying tomorrow, you would say tomorrow. So say it with me now. Tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but tomorrow. There you go. Tomorrow. And then from the French, I usually go to the Jamaican accent. Now the Jamaican accent, you have to think again, man. Really different. Nobody really speak this accent, you know, too much in America, so you don't really get a lot of the accent here. You don't really see it here or hear it here a lot, especially not in Arizona where we are. But then this accent, man, is very interesting. Very interesting. And those are my accents that I have so far. Please let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought. What was your favorite accent? And give suggestions. Please. And thank you. God bless.